Yay! We made it.
I'm excited. We got it together.
Yes. See everybody joining. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Hi, everyone.
So Danielle, I hear a little bit of feedback. You might have to turn down the sound from the computer. Okay, I think it's gone. It's gone. Perfect. So yes, we are starting Pink Talks. We're also live on Facebook. So for those of you who are joining right now, go ahead and share it to as many people as possible. We're going to give a couple minutes to join in. For with us, see all of the love coming in. Thank you guys. Yes, so we are here with Danielle Martin. Danielle Martin is a alternative soul singer, songwriter, and actress, actually, from New York City. She actually wrote her first song at 12 years old, which is super impressive, by the way, and quickly started to create melodies and have imaginative storytelling. Actually, guys, I am looking in two directions because we're both on Instagram and Facebook, so bear with me in that sense. We saw that Danielle actually was introduced by a college friend, MC Enigma of trilingual hip hop collective Negros Americanos. That's how you pronounce it, right? Yes. To DJ RIS, who she later went on to collaborate. She set up shop in IRS's kitchen pantry. And they actually went on to record early demos for several songs that later appeared on her EP. In November 2017, you actually did release the EP Wanderlust by Sonatic Music Group and also Marcus A. Derju. That's French, right?
It's Syrian, but I think it's also French either way, honestly. I never thought about it until you said it. I'm like, that X. Very French.
Right, exactly. And that EP had the lead single, The One, that released later on in May with an accompanying music video and was described as vulnerable and transparent, as well as sweet and soulful. Later on, we saw that Danielle also had performances at amazing venues such as Rockwood Music Hall, BronxNet TV, Garden State Plaza Mall, Gramercy Theater, Harlem Summer on the Hudson, Arlene's Grocery, and Savannah. So I know all of our followers from New York are very familiar with those.
Exactly.
Venues, so very impressive career. And then this year, actually, Danielle appeared on 3 separate projects, collaborating with a whole new slew of artists. The newest single that you have out is Lights, and that was with indie soul singer and guitarist Johnny Parks. Blue Lagoon by Brooklyn-based rock band Crimshaw, which I actually am very familiar with them.
Are you? They're so dope.
Amazing.
So
when I saw that, I was super excited. And yeah, so also have some other singles out, such as Monsters, Brave, which was produced with producer and DJ Moon Rocket, and remixed by Italian Afro House DJ and producer Mo Black. And yeah, so we are actually super excited to have Danielle with us this evening. She's going to give us a little sample of her music and let us know more about her background and how she got to be this amazing, amazing singer, songwriter, artist as a whole. So yeah, super excited that you're joining us, Danielle. Thank you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me on and sharing your platform with me. I'm so excited. So thank you.
Yay. Super excited, super excited. So actually we can start off with finding out a little bit more about yourself. Could you give us kind of a sneak peek or some background information about yourself as an artist, as a brand, as a person, to get us started for this evening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So as you mentioned, I started writing like really young. I started writing poetry and all that. And I'd always liked to sing, but it was something that I kind of did for myself. And I
Mhm.
just kind of like put two and two together. I was like, so you like to sing, why don't
Mhm.
you, start writing and stuff? And you're so nice to be like, oh, she started writing when she was 12. I'm not saying it was
Mhm.
good songs. They were just songs. Like I just started writing. And it's just, with anything, you just keep going at it. And when you're so young, like when you have a passion for something, you just do it because you love it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it started to get better. And, I started being able to write some of the songs that, ended up on this EP. So like these songs have
Mhm.
been with me for such a long time. And so I hold them so close to my heart. So yeah. And I've just been writing for a long time, but I only really started performing very seriously within like the last 5 years, just because I was like, I was so used to doing things for myself that I would get on stage and I would perform every once in a while, but I'd be so shy about it that I wasn't very serious about it. But it
Right.
wasn't until I started working in the city and working at a music studio, Funkadelic Studios in Manhattan, and just being with other musicians who are like, they weren't just talking about doing music. They were like, nope, I do shows, I record, I do this. And I'm like, oh, wait, this is so
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? This is real. I can
Right.
really do this. So like, it was being around other musicians and other creative people that really inspired me to take myself more seriously, So yeah,
Mhm.
that's a little bit about
Definitely.
it.
Definitely, definitely. I think a lot of artists have a similar experience. When you're surrounded by creativity, it kind of pushes you to do even more and take
Absolutely.
more risk. How was it growing up in New York City? Like, how did that influence your music career and also your style?
So I was born in the Bronx, and it was very fun. I will say it was like very fun, very creative. That's where I started listening to some of my favorite artists like Whitney Houston. Like I
Mhm.
first heard her there, and like Michael Jackson and all these people. And I
Mhm.
definitely just every time you would walk down the street, there was different music blasting. So it was
Right.
different influences and stuff like that. But I also did grow up in Jersey as well, and I
Okay.
listened to a lot of music in there as well. It was like two different types, like a lot of hip hop and R&B and soul music and stuff like that, and even pop music in the city. But then when I went to Jersey, it was very like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney. No
Mhm.
shade, because I love all those people. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I will fight people over some Britney Spears like that. No problem. So it was just like a lot of different influences. And um when I was really young, I was really into to different types of music magazines. Some of them would be like, R&B and pop, and then others would be like hardcore rock music and stuff like that. So it was
Mhm.
like a lot. My childhood was just listening to so many different types of music, and I feel like, at least for me, that's how I decided to call my music alternative soul, because I felt like the source of my influence was so many different things that I just couldn't pin myself, like what I like down. And I'm like, I know I sound, I have a very soulful voice, but I'm
Yeah.
like, it's from everything. It's not just from one thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yes, yes. And we did mention that you started your music career very young and that you wrote your first song at 12. Do you remember the inspiration behind that?
Oh
Because,
yeah. It was either not Incubus. It was the song I wrote it called Drowning, but when I tell you I was copying, like I was copying, but like in my own words, but like I was copying the structure of not Incubus, but what is this band?
Mhm.
Mm, man, the lead singer actually passed away.
Oh.
and I can't think of the band, but it was like a rock band, and they were like very popular growing up. It was, you will know who I'm talking about. They like rapped, and like one was a rapper and then one was the singer. And the lead singer, like I said, he passed away like the last couple years. If you guys know in the comments, definitely, because I know, like, I don't know why, but yeah, it was a song called Drowning, and it was so bad. It was so bad because it wasn't very Linkin Park. It was Linkin Park. Exactly. Yeah. I was like, no, you guys know who this band is. But I loved Linkin Park, and they were like on the radio all the time. So, and yeah, so it was like a song where I don't remember what song they had, but I wrote the Danielle version of their song. But it just started off there, and then it just kept growing. So yeah.
Yes, well, I'm sure that our followers are super interested to hear a sample of your sound. So we're going to get into that in just a few seconds. But also to let you guys know who are watching, we are going to have a Q&A directly after. So please stay tuned till the end so you can ask Danielle as many questions as you want about her background, her music style, where you can find her next. That's going to happen at the end of the interview. So just letting you guys know to stay tuned. So yeah, so Danielle, if you want, we can go ahead with like a sample and kind of show everybody what you're all about.
Absolutely. So
awesome.
I'm gonna I'll throw it back to my first single. It's called The One, and it was the first single off of the Wanderlust EP. And yeah, hope you guys like it.
Awesome.
Don't need to change. There won't be no peace goodbye. Like all the ones you have before, my face will fade before I'm gone. Will never walk beneath. No, I'm the one you see when the moon is high. The silence scream to the night. Step apart, never fits quite right. I'm something that you've had before. No games, but strictly to the point. In the end, I'm all alone. A part of me wants something more that I can't give into that voice. Won't let myself ignore what I can't ignore. Even if you said you love me, and know we might be okay. There's no chance I believe you, 'cause it's never been our way. I'm the one you see when the moon is high. Silence speaks to the night. Swear apart, never hits quite right. I'm something that you've had before. No games, but strictly to the point. In the end, I'm all alone. As we lay tonight, I've already said goodbye. There's no point in taking it slow. We both know how the story goes. Ooh, yeah. I'm the one you see when the moon is high. The silence scream into the night. The square apart never fits quite right. I'm something that you've had before. No games, but strictly to the point. In the end, I'm all alone. I'm the one you see when the moon is high. The silence scream into the night. The square apart never fits quite right. I'm something that you've had before. No games, but strictly to the point. In the end, I'm all alone. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh my goodness. I wish that I had this on my computer so I could listen to it later. But actually, for those that just joined in, could you just let everybody know what's the name of that song and how they can find it?
Absolutely. So that was the one, and it's available on my EP called Wonderlust, which is Wonderlust, sorry, and it's everywhere: Spotify, iTunes. I have a music video on YouTube, and you can find me Danielle Martin or on social media at Devious Sanity.
Awesome, awesome. So much love in the comments. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Like, seriously, it was just getting flooded throughout the performance. So yeah, that was amazing. I can kind of tell that your music style has changed a bit since you first started. How would you say you've changed as an artist, or your writing style maybe has changed since you first started at 12? How would you say it's changed?
It's changed a lot.
Right?
I definitely found my own voice, writing style. And then just in general, I feel like as I get older, I just am more confident. I think I said before, I was just a little bit more shy, and just, I felt like I was always comparing myself to other performers and then just not really embracing what made me me. Do you know what I mean? So I just would take every criticism to heart and then just magnify it 1,000% in my head. And then I just got to a point where it's just like, I'm doing this because I love it, not necessarily because I'm trying to be like this person or that person, or do you know what I mean? I never even wanted to sound like other people, but I just never felt like I sounded the best. And it's just gets to the point where it's like, you're never going to sound the way, like there's always, I feel like there's people who are, that I am a fan of, that they still have their own insecurities about their talent and stuff like that. So if even the most talented people have, these insecurities, it's like, you just kind of have to just do what you love because you love it and because you believe in yourself, not necessarily because you're trying to compare yourself to other people. So I learned to get out of my own way and just try and just be more confident in who I am as a performer. So yeah.
For sure. And I think that's something that, we all have to kind of come to terms with and develop throughout, adulthood, and just learning ourselves better, finding ourselves. So I can definitely relate to that journey for sure. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. I also mentioned earlier, for those of you who are just tuning in with us, some of the venues that Danielle Martin has been able to perform at here in New York City, such as Arlene's Grocery, Sylvana's. A little bit of storytelling. Which venue or performance have you most enjoyed, and can you kind of tell us about that experience?
I think when I felt like the most that I had made it as like a performer in the city was obviously when I did Rockwood, like, because so many of my favorite performers had done it and it was on my bucket list. I'm like, oh my God, if I could just do Rockwood, I would just really feel like, and then when I did it, it was just it was like my biggest dream come true, honestly. And yeah, so that was definitely like, and the turnout was great. The crowd was awesome. And I think it wasn't the first show I did with a live band, but it was the first show that I'd done in a while with my band, like the band that I normally, like I was regularly playing with, and we sounded really good. And I think I actually I had a videographer for it. So yeah, I definitely felt like I was a celebrity. Like once you have a videographer, you're like, oh yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite shows. Yeah. And and also my EP release. It was at Funkadelic where I did work, but there's nothing I think that really tops your, like, when you release a project and it's just a room full of people that, you really care about and who really vibe with your music and everything. So that was also really amazing. Yeah.
For sure. And normally when you have your live performances, do you have a band typically, or do you normally do kind of a solo act?
I definitely was doing a lot of like me and a guitarist. It was usually like, because I love doing live music. I feel like I definitely enjoy singing with tracks, and I feel like there's a different vibe with that, but there's something about like that impromptu-ness, and then also the connection you have with whether it's just a guitarist or a band. Ideally, I would always just travel with a band wherever I can, but musicians are busy, they're booked all the time, and getting a bunch of people in the same room together, it can be a bit of a struggle. So a lot of times my shows are acoustic, and then for like the special occasions like the Rockwoods and stuff like that, I bring out the band. Yeah.
For sure. And if you could sort of imagine like your dream set or your dream performance, what would that look like? What is in this future for you as an artist?
That's a good question. I never thought about that. Um, I guess like Madison Square Garden, just to be like super cheesy.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I don't
That is
even.
a New York dream for
That is
sure.
because it's just such a like it's such a celebration. Anytime an artist is like, I sold out Madison Square Garden, like so I would love to be one of those people that said that.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah.
oh, this is the first step, right? You have to affirm it. So
Exactly. Gotta just put that out into the atmosphere. Exactly.
exactly. Yeah, so you jumped into house music with the song Brave,
Hmm.
which is also available online,
Yeah.
in collaboration with Moon Rocket. What made you want to sort of change your sound with this collaboration? Is that something that you're looking to get more into, or was it sort of a one-off project?
Definitely not one off. I had been told like a lot from friends, like, oh, you should do music. You should do house music. And I didn't think I knew what house music was. I was like,
Right,
I don't really listen to it, but like we all kind of do listen to house music. We just don't know it. Like
right.
it's slowly kind of becoming mainstream actually.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I should have done it back then when everybody's telling me to do it. But no, I really thought it was like this niche thing. And I was like, I don't listen to house music. But long story short, after I released the EP, I had a vision for what I wanted that to be. And it definitely came out exactly, if not better, than what I thought it was. But after I did that, I was like, now I need to do more. Like, it was very much like acoustic sounding, introducing me to the world kind of thing. And then
Hmm.
afterwards, I was like, I want to do everything. I want to do rock
Right.
music. I want to do, house music. I want to do I just want to do, I want to do dance music. I don't even dance.
Hmm.
Like, I want just get a dance track out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
that was a song that I had for a little bit, but I hadn't finished. And um, this drummer, Swiss Chris, actually, he was like, "Oh, you should link up with my friend Moon Rocket." And I went to his house, and it was like a really like I played him the song. He was like, "Oh, I think I have this melody." And long story short, we came up with this, and he's very much into the house scene and everything like that, and doing his thing, which is great. And yeah, the song just came from there, and it was definitely when I wrote the song, that wasn't what I heard when I was writing it, but I'm very happy with how it came out because I don't want to just stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to. Like I want to
Right.
expand and try different things. And one of the things you do is you collaborate with other musicians who
Mhm.
are like, especially who are experts in their field, and then they teach you. So he definitely taught me some stuff. So that was awesome. Yeah.
Right. Awesome, awesome. And you did touch on collaborations and how important that is to expanding your music profile. Are there any other collaborations that you would like to do in the near future or are currently working on that we can look forward to?
Absolutely. So I have a single that should hopefully be coming out soon that um I wanted this producer, this awesome producer, reach out to me on Instagram. I have to find his I'm like looking for my phone. I'm talking into it.
Mhm.
I gotta find his Instagram. I want to say it's always one or G1. I'll find it and put
Mhm.
it in here. But he just reached out to me randomly. He was like, "Would you like to link up?" And I love stuff like that where people are like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I listen to you," or maybe I vice versa. I'm like, "I listen to you. Let's try and do something."
Right.
I had a again. I had a song, and I was like, "Let's do this." And it's coming together. I linked up with. He sent. It's like collaborative effort, and then I finally was able to lay down my vocals with Sonotic Music, the guy that helped produce my first album. He's awesome.
Mhm.
And yeah, now we're building a song together. But it's I'm
Mhm.
open to collaborating with everyone, honestly, especially um especially in between projects. It's just like I want to be inspired and figure
Right.
out what my next sound is going to be like. So why not just collaborate with everybody that's willing to collaborate? So yeah,
Mhm.
it's nobody specific. It's everybody and because I'm a fan of so many people too. So all my friends
Mhm.
are musicians, so I would love to collab with all of them. So
Mhm.
yeah.
For sure, for sure. I think you definitely have some interesting projects in the works. So I'm super excited to see all of the new collaborations and all the new music coming out from your brand. If you could actually, I know we're kind of locked down right now with COVID-19, but do you have any countries that you would like to go visit and tour and share your music specifically, or kind of?
All of
Yeah, right.
I'd love to go to Europe, to
Mhm.
Italy, to the
Mhm.
UK. Um, I would love to tour like Africa and visit all the different there's like so many. Honestly, I'm mad at myself because I didn't pre-COVID didn't take the like, I think we're all kicking ourselves for like the stuff we should have done pre-COVID. But I'm like, I used to, when I was younger, I'm like, I'm going to travel the world. And, you know, and it wasn't even about music. It's just about like learning and experiencing different things. And obviously music was in there as well. But yeah, once this lockdown's over, once, you know, it's safe, because I know people are traveling, but I don't necessarily feel like it's 100% safe. But I mean, even within the US, it's like, I would love to go to California and like, you know what I mean? Like the West Coast, I used to be very like anti the West Coast. I don't know why. I thought like
the New York versus Cali feud.
Exactly. I was very deep into that. But now I'm like, no, I wanna see how the other half lives.
Right.
You know? Yeah. What about you? Do you want to travel anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've had the fortune of being able to see most of the places that I would like to go. But definitely, you mentioned Africa. I would love to see more of Africa, like Kenya, Ghana, Ethiopia, Egypt.
Like on the it was like highest on the list before. I feel like even before COVID, it was like a little rough over there. Like but that was on my list since I was a kid. I'm like, I want to see everything, you know, where we come from. The pyramids. Like, yes.
For sure. Do you sort of draw any inspirations from different places or different cultures in your music or in your songwriting? Or is it kind of a New York vibe?
I was like, honestly, I don't want to front and be like, yes, but I think as I expand my music chase and as I start listening to different types, because I'm slowly getting, like, people throw me music all the time from different, you know, genres and different cultures and stuff like that. So as I listen more, yes, I'm getting more influence, but back in the day, not so much. Maybe, I guess, through reading, because I'm a big reader. And so when I read about other cultures, I think they subconsciously, you know, influence certain things, but not consciously. But yeah. I used to be really into like mythology, so that's why I love Egypt as well, like the Egyptian myths and stuff like that. So yeah,
for sure. Yeah, definitely. I can see the mythology influences, and yeah, it's interesting to always hear kind of what the background creativity is with different artists, and everybody kind of has different ways to be creative. So just was curious about that. Yeah, so we're actually, if you're up to it, it would be great to hear another one of your songs. And then actually, we're going to lead into some questions from the audience that's watching. So give everybody a chance to get to know you one-on-one. So yeah, could you let us know the next title and the song?
So this next song is called The Wanting. We're going to slow it down a little bit. And yeah, it's also on the EP, and surprisingly, it also has a music video. So if you guys want to check that out, it's on YouTube. So yeah, and both music videos were directed by one of my favorite directors, Mavrolos. He's I hope I pronounce, like, I know how to read it, but I'm like, I don't necessarily know how to pronounce it. But he's so dope, and I love when people are like so young and so talented. I'm like, how are you so talented and so young? But yeah, he's just awesome. So directed both my music videos, and yeah. He's great.
Can't wait.
When the lights they dim and the party's over, will you still be here? If you understand, even when they're all gone, how long till you disappear? Won't I ever be enough to be you through the night? Won't I ever be enough to make you stay? I always wonder, I always want to see your face. Without the sadness, you seem to all every step. No one's supposed to know. No one's supposed to know. No one's supposed to see you folks and see you from up. Down, 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 down. If you never loved me, you never saw me by your side. Why did you keep me? How could you hide me? Hide me from the truth. I'm not so fragile, I'm not so broken up inside. I won't be the secret you keep buried from the light. I always wondered, I always wanted to see your face. Without the sadness, you seem to haunt your every step. No one's supposed to know. No one's supposed to know. No one's supposed to see you falter, see you crumble down, 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 down. Yeah, tumbling down, 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 down. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. You said you needed, said you wanted me by your side. You said you saw me, even when you closed your eyes. Down, 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 down. Yes, I'm tumbling down, 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 down. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Down, you're tumbling down. You're tumbling down, 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 down.
I was like still listening, still waiting for more.
I was like, with that song, I'm like, so we've come to the end. And like, this is so today for a while. I'm like, I don't have any choreography. I'm sorry, guys.
That was amazing.
Thank you. Let me put this down. I keep forgetting.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Everyone was commenting about your vocal range, which I was actually going to comment about as well. Like, you have great control over your voice, you know, and that's, I think, challenging for a lot of singers. How do you kind of practice and like get your voice to be so eloquent?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's honestly, it's hard to. I feel like it just comes with time, time and just like you said, practice. Because I didn't always used to. It's time, practice, and just knowing your voice. You know what I mean? Because there's times where I go for a note and I'm like, okay, not today. We're gonna bring it down. We're just gonna. Do you know what I mean? So it's just knowing your voice, and sometimes you try things and it doesn't work, and you just keep it moving, but. It's just a lot of practice, like you said, and just, and then as you get more comfortable, like sometimes you're out on that ledge and you're like, you bet you gotta jump, right? You gotta, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you gotta do something. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Long story short, there's no one answer. It's just a lot of prayer and practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you have a natural voice, so, you know, I'm sure it's easy, and this is just like fine tuning.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. And then you also, these are like my songs. I've been singing them for a while now too. So it's like, it's just not, I won't say second nature, but the more you do something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The better you get at it.
Exactly.
For sure. For sure. So that song, what was the title of that one again?
The Wanting, and it's also on the Wanderlust EP.
Okay, awesome.
Mix is in the building. Hey, Troy. our projects together, so we're always gonna have that connection. Yes, he's amazing. He was in my first music video too. I always have to tell people these fun facts. He let me keep him out. He was like my no good boyfriend. And if you're looking for an amazing singer with vocal control and range for Week's music, that is That is the guy.
Ooh, we have to check them out.
Yes.
Yes, and for that last song that you performed with us, do you have a music video out for that one as well, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on my YouTube video. Sorry, my YouTube channel. Yeah, Danielle Martin on YouTube as well. And again, it was also directed by Matt Verlas, who did both my music videos. So he's awesome.
Awesome. What can you give us like a sneak peek about what the video is like, what we can expect from that?
So with The Wanting, I'm trying to remember. The Wanting was very much like it was in nature. And we were in it was in like a Brooklyn, like a Brooklyn park, but I think it was like I can't even use words. It was in a Brooklyn park, and it was really, really beautiful park. I can't remember what park it was, but it was very beautiful. And it was there was a couple in the video, and the guy, like the couple is so beautiful and they're so together and lovely, but of course this guy has a wandering eye and can't appreciate the beautiful woman that's right in front of him. And yeah, towards the end of the video, she had enough, and she was just like, he blinked and she's gone, basically.
Wow.
And just really left standing there, just knowing that he lost a really amazing person. So that was the whole crux of the video, but it was kind of funny too. There's like some cute little shots in there.
Awesome. That sounds super interesting. I'm definitely gonna go and watch that right after this.
Yeah. And then in the first video, you get to see me kick Troy out and just yes.
Nice.
Guys aren't treating you good. You just gotta kick them out.
I mean, that's what you gotta do sometimes. For sure. I mean, that's super exciting. Doing the music videos and casting and kind of seeing your songs come to life with different actors and different scenes. What would you say is kind of the most exciting part about being an artist and, expressing yourself through music? Or what is the most exciting part about that?
It probably sounds corny, but like the most exciting part is when you hear other people like, oh my God, I really enjoyed that song, or I really related to that, or, just hearing other people just vibing with your music. Because music especially is such a solitary thing for the most part, unless you're like collaborating with other artists, but a lot of it is just doing things on your own for yourself, it feels like. So when you put it out and other people connect with it, it's almost like a surprise. It's like, oh, wow, you
right.
like this too, or you went through something like this as well. And so yeah, that's honestly one of the best parts. Yeah.
Awesome. And just to let you guys know, we are actually in the Q&A portion, so if you have questions for Danielle, go ahead and comment them in our video here, our live stream, and we'll definitely have Danielle answer a few of them as she has time with us tonight. So definitely want to open up the floor for you guys. Let's see here. Just going through the comments right now. And a lot of love from people tuning in.
Thank you, guys. I see the
Someone
love.
said that's your favorite song. That was one of their favorite songs. That's J Sap Official.
Yes. Hey, John.
Not Zavika Poverde said that she's now a fan, so that's great.
Thank you.
Yes, love this song. Someone, Shay Leona, says she loves your lipstick as well, so I was gonna comment on that.
I saw somebody commented Eurotrip, and I forgot that we were talking about places when I travel. I thought they were talking about the movie. I was like, I love that movie. That movie's so funny.
No, but a Euro tour is definitely in the future for you. Yes, so I'm excited for that one. I'm booking my tickets.
It's like the minute the borders are open, we're out of here.
Right. So I see a question from Katie Di Lorenzo. She says, have you ever made a music video, and would you do it again?
Yes. So I've made 2 music videos. I'm trying to think if I've made more. No, I made 3 music videos, and one was like years ago, and I looked crazy, and it was, I don't even know why I brought it up. Nobody knew about it, and then I had to bring it up. I was like, oh God, don't go to the archives. But yeah, I made 2 official music videos, and they were a lot of fun. It was like it's weird because when people ask you like, so what do you want? What's your concept? And I'm like,
right.
I got to think of everything. So it's a little stressful at first, but like when you really sit down and you're like, no, this is what I want. And this is what I pictured and everything. And then to see it come to life, it's almost crazy. It's like, wow, this is, something. It's like growing up and watching music videos. I guess I never really thought about all that went behind it. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So just to think of all it just was great to have that opportunity to bring like my vision to life. It was awesome. So,
for sure.
Do it again, obviously.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned you don't want to let people go into the archives or encourage them to go into the archives. But I think that's always interesting when you see artists and you can kind of see their transition from when they were just indie starting out and just, making things happen for themselves. And then once they get the big deal and now it's like full-fledged production. So
I heard that 100%, but I guess for other people, no, I'm kidding. And also, like that music video wasn't like it was my music video, but it wasn't like it wasn't the same situation where like I had creative control. It was really like a friend was like, "This is our music video. This is what we're gonna do," and like I just remember they were like, "Can you cry on camera?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And then 10, 20 minutes later, I'm like pouring water on my face to get fake tears. Like it was bad. It was bad. Like I completely forgot about that music video until you brought it up. Like,
right,
I didn't have another video.
Right. Actresses, they make it up.
Like, I didn't bring it up until you brought it up. You didn't do anything.
Well, I'm definitely gonna go check it out. I'm gonna find the archives right after this. But I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was awesome. So, don't worry. So I see we have another question here from Carrie Dugan. She's asking, who is your favorite musician?
Whitney Houston. Definitely Whitney Houston. Close second is Amy Winehouse, because everybody knows I'm obsessed with her. But definitely Whitney Houston. I always tell the story. I'm like, I don't remember. Like, obviously, growing up, you listen to music. But I remember when I first heard her, I was like in a cab with my mom, and I Will Always Love You came on, and it was just like a light bulb came on. I'm like, what is this? This heavenly voice,
Yeah.
So I love her so much. I don't listen to her as much, honestly, because after she passed away, I was so sad that I don't like it. It's still to this day a little sad to listen to her music, but I love her. I love her so much. So yeah, my favorite artist.
Just a natural talent. I mean, she was just she hit high notes, and you just wonder like, how can you hit this note with no effort, even like
it's just joy. And it's just like there was time. I remember you ever saw her sing the national anthem.
Yeah,
it was just the way that she sang such a difficult song so effortlessly, and then had the nerve to just smile afterwards and just look like that took no energy. It's like, you know how many people cry and slave to sing this song, and she's just and then just
exactly.
She was amazing, one of a kind.
Definitely a one of a kind talent. We have another question here from Dreamcast McFly. He's asking, if you threw a concert for you to headline, who would be on your dream lineup? So who would open up for you? Or
it honestly would probably be a lot of like local people that I know that I'm fans of. So obviously would have to throw Troy Weeks music on there. My girl Mariah Sky, she's an amazing singer. Definitely check her out. But if I'm talking about like, I guess people that everybody knows, maybe like Corinne Bailey Rae. I still love that woman. I think she's amazing. If I could bring her back, Amy Winehouse. But if I could bring her back, and just a random like Meg Thee Stallion, because I love her.
Meg Thee Stallion.
Like, how would this go? We'll find a way. I love her so much. She makes people so like anxious for no reason, just because she's just so like, she's so confident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, she's such a boss. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love how comfortable that makes people. I'm like, no, she's amazing. So I don't know what kind of concert this will be, but she'll be there. Listen, if she could twerk to Lizzo playing her, do something. So multi-talented, right?
Exactly. We have another question. We actually have a lot of questions coming in here. Yeah. For sure. Um, Moon Gem is asking, she says, every singer has their own method, but how do you sing through a cold? I think that's a good question, actually. When you're sick, what do you do?
Luckily, I haven't been sick in a while, so I'm trying to remember. Like,
Mhm.
I just bring everything down an octave, I think. And not too many runs, unfortunately, but it's like very Tony Braxton. Like we're just bringing it down a little bit. And yeah, a lot of tea, a lot of there's this throat coat spray, I think it is or no, maybe throat coat is the tea, but there's this spray that I got from that my friend Shay actually introduced me to from Whole Foods. And it kind of, I don't like to use it too often because you don't want to use anything that's gonna like force you to expand your vocal cords or when you're not really feeling it. But if you're in a pinch and you need to do it like one off, that's a good spray that kind of like you don't even feel like you're sick after a while, which is what deceives you. but yeah, once you get through your like what you need to get through, but just rest. Honestly, you shouldn't really sing when you're sick. I'm telling you, Tiff, but it's like don't do it. It only helps you in the short run, and then in the long run, if you do it too often, it can really damage you. So don't do it. That's my official advice.
For sure. You have to rest. That is definitely a major key for everyone watching. Let's see here. We have a question from Troy Weeks Music, actually. He says, what's your most memorable moment with recording?
Probably just the whole process of recording my EP, just because I'd had those songs for a while and I recorded some of those songs as a demo, but I didn't feel like it sounded what I wanted it to sound like. And I guess after a while I was starting to feel like it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna sound like, and then I linked up with Marcus Duryea, and he was amazing. I just needed somebody to help me with live shows, and he was the guy, and we were doing shows together, and he's like, oh, my brother's doing something, and my friend, he's a producer, and you want to come through? And I was like, yeah, sure. And from there, and then Troy was there, and it just was this whole process of like, wow, like I'm a musician, like studio, like it's just really like, you guys, like in the bio it says like I was in somebody's kitchen pantry. That was like where I started. I won't take away from that because that was an amazing experience and wrote so many amazing songs, linked up with amazing people, but this is a whole different, it was like, no, we're professionals. Like this is real. And so yeah, the whole recording process for Wanderlust was amazing. And just being able to see a project that I'd had on my mind for a long time finally come to fruition, that was awesome. Yeah.
For sure. I can definitely understand that feeling. We have a question from AE Kiss 31. And she asks, what is your favorite cover to sing?
It's probably either, for a long time, it was Creep by
Radiohead.
Cover. But recently, I've been performing Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, and I love that song. And I never thought to sing it before. Or actually, no, I lied. I think I tried to sing it in the past, but like I was doing too much. I was like, it was like, this is it doesn't need all of that. And like recently I started covering it and I'm like, you know what, this is a great song. I should cover this more. So yeah, that's one of my favorite songs to cover. But it was Creep for a long time before.
Yeah, definitely Creep is one of my favorite songs of all time. So I would love to hear that for sure. Is that on your like YouTube or SoundCloud or anything like that?
It could be on my YouTube, maybe, but and I haven't, you said SoundCloud. I'm like, yo, what's on my SoundCloud? I haven't on SoundCloud. I still have it and I should put more stuff on there, but it could be on SoundCloud too. Let's go look.
Yeah, I feel like SoundCloud, that's where you find like the hidden gems from artists. So
songs that like you can't get copyright strikes on.
Right. For sure. We have a question from Rebellion Jones. She is asking, what is the process to monetizing your craft as an artist?
The first thing you want to do is copyright your music, because if you don't copyright it, then anybody can take it, first of all. And you also, it's the first step basically in doing anything with your music. And just trying to perform as much as possible. Join I forget what they're called, but I'm in one. Like, what are they called? Like ASCAP, join like a union kind of.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I joined ASCAP, and they're great. And also, if you can get your songs in like a music library where they get your songs played. So a lot of these TV shows, like the Grey's Anatomies and stuff like that, they don't want to pay for Beyonce or, like these big name people, but they'll pay for somebody who has music that's like not necessarily the equivalent, but gives them the same vibe or something like that. So if you're able to get yourself into a music library and stuff like that, that's also really good. And for somebody said, what do you use to copyright? I think it was like copyright.org or copyright.gov. It's like I think it's .gov. It's like the official copyright like place. And yeah, just like I'm trying to think what else you do. Just perform as much as possible. The most important thing is to get your face out there and to get more people to know who you are. As a singer, there's a lot of opportunities. If you can do background work for people, you can go into the studio and record. A lot of these producers, they have songs, but they are not singers themselves, and they want people to come in there and do like just do vocals for them, and they'll pay you like a flat fee to like record. There's like so many different little things that you can do. But the most important thing is to be consistent, like, because you're not going to get these opportunities if you just show up for like a day or two. You're like, I sing, and then you leave and you go away and you don't do your music anymore. So yeah, the most important thing is to be consistent and get your face and name out there as much as possible, in my opinion. Yeah. Those are some of the
For sure. Those are all really, really great tips, actually. And I'm sure that was helpful for a lot of our followers. Most of our followers are in the creative industry in some sort. So definitely take notes, guys. If you didn't, this video is going to be on IGTV, so you can rewind it and find out again what tips Danielle is giving for singers that need to monetize their careers. We actually have time for a couple more questions, probably one or two. So if you have any questions that you didn't get to ask, definitely go ahead and write it in the comments or in the questions tab here. We have one coming in from Shay Leonia, and she wants to know, what direction do you see your music going in next? Because I know you mentioned that you have a bunch of collaborations coming out soon, and you've been dabbling in some different genres as well. So which direction do you kind of see yourself going in the near future?
Definitely more collaborations, ideally, and just that's a great question. Just because I don't have a direct answer, it's really just kind of I want to explore other genres more and see what happens. So before I was really like I should release another project, but I think I want to just release individual songs and just see what happens as far as like where I'll let the music tell me where I'm going next. You know what I mean? But definitely more writing and more just creating in general. This pandemic kind of put a halt on a lot of things. I wanted to be, in the studio more and perform more. I was really more interested in, I hadn't performed in a while, so I wanted to I guess it's been a good thing in a way because you get to do like IG live stuff like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not performing, but I definitely was expecting to maybe try and go to Rockwood again and do some live shows and experiment with more covers. But as far as my music going, it's just recording more and just seeing what happens next.
For sure. So actually, guys, we are going to have to end here because the time is ticking and we need to save this to IGTV. So we're going to be switching over to Facebook for a couple more questions, which will be available for our after hours segment. But for those of you who haven't, go ahead and follow Danielle on Instagram and on YouTube. And definitely check out more of her music and send this video to as many people as possible so that they can hear the performance that you did this evening. So Danielle, thank you so much for joining us tonight for Pink Talks. It was a true pleasure to have you and to hear you share your talents with us.
Thank you. I had such a great time. You're a great interviewer and a great host. So thank you so much for having me. And thank you guys for being a great audience. This was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely join us next Sunday for the next episode of Pink Talks. And thank you for joining us this evening, Danielle.
Anytime.
Okay.
Have a good night, guys.
Share to IGTV.